Hello everyone, and welcome back to A Couple Friends No Class, the summer season, season 3. Today we are hanging out in the season premiere with Ethan and Daniela, hanging out talking about recent things in the theater department in the world of Ethan, Daniela's recent concert spree, and unfortunately COVID quarantine, and just a few other things about kind of the year closing out. I hope you guys enjoy it. It's another great episode. Let's get right into it.
All that it takes is a little reinvention. It's easy to change if you give it your attention. All you gotta do is just believe you can be who you wanna be. Sincerely me. My sister's hot. What the hell? My bad.
Ready? Here we go. Yay. So hello everyone, welcome back to A Couple Friends with No Class. Today we are here with Ethan and Daniela, and we're here in Dodds Hall because it was too windy outside to record and it was too cold, more than I anticipated. So we were in a different place. It's nice and quiet here today. It's probably the best podcast setting we've ever had. Hello, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing good. I mean, a little bit tired because finals, but otherwise good.
That's good. Daniela, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. I literally just came back from a concert. I watched a Slipknot tribute band perform just now, and I am very confused by everything that I just saw. But it was fun.
Sounds like an interesting experience.
It was very interesting. It was actually kind of fun. I never thought I would experience something like that at the college.
We've all had at least you have had very interesting past weeks. So for very different reasons. So we'll start with Ethan. Ethan, how was your last week?
Well, busy is an understatement. I was just part of, in a lot of different formats, in a lot of different roles in the Student New Works Festival put on by the theater department.
Whoa, yeah.
Yay.
So that was a lot of work, but also a lot of payoff. So it's not like bad things, just a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's super cool. But you feel accomplished with your work?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if you want me to dive into this all now, but
Sure, if you want to.
But yeah, I wrote one of the plays that were in it. I mean, I wrote it 2 years ago for a class assignment, but here we are. And I acted in 3 of the shows. I did set crew for the entirety of Program B and half of Program A. Yeah, there was a lot of
Sounds like a lot,
there.
yeah. But it sounds like a very, very hectic and action-packed week.
Yeah, 5 to 11:30 or later in the theater a couple of those nights. A lot of time.
That's good. Do you have a good turnout to it, or?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, a lot of people went, and we were able to record the shows for like families that couldn't make it.
Nice.
So I'll be able to watch that back with my mother.
I didn't know that they were recorded.
They are.
You might need to send over some links to me.
Okay.
Daniela also had an interesting week. Unexpected.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you had an interesting week before that because you went to all sorts of concerts and stuff. That's the reason.
Yeah, that's probably the reason. I ended up getting COVID, which was interesting. I ended up going to like a really cool concert before that, which is probably the reason why I got COVID.
Tell us about your concert.
Oh my God, yes. So I am... I've been I was like an emo ever since middle school. I still have not entirely left my emo phase, but I went to the Trinity of Terror tour, which is Black Veil Brides, Ice Nine Kills, and Motionless in White, which was a very big band, and they were performing in Wallingford. And my friend picked me up at 7:30 in the morning. We were the first people in line. And we ended up getting VIP, so I ended up meeting the bands and taking pictures with them. They were all very sweet, very tall people. One of the frontmen of one of the bands was actually wearing Yale merchandise, which is like the school like right next to us. And it was really funny because I think he was like in the Yale quad like the day before the show. Yeah, and I got barricade for all of the shows, so... security guards kept giving me like set lists and guitar picks, and people kept throwing stuff at me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I ended up I tried to give my friend an autograph on a napkin, but I lost it during the concert. But it's okay. She doesn't know this, but I'm actually, like, I DM'd the person, and she replied to me. She's going to give an autograph, like, after they come back from tour. It's one of the makeup artists for one of the bands. She's very interested in her work. Shout out to Chevy Marie. And then I went home for Easter, and then when I was home for Easter, I started feeling a little funky. Initially, I thought that it was my dad, like, gave me, like, a cold, because he had a cold, but he didn't have COVID. So I thought that I got whatever my dad got. No, I went back to campus on Sunday. I tested Monday morning. It turns out I was positive. I had a weird little adventure to a Best Western, which is located about 5 minutes off campus, and that's where I stayed for the next 6 days, just doing my work over Zoom and watching anime in a hotel bedroom.
Yeah, it has lots of antics. I know I was getting a lot of different English is hard sometimes.
It is.
I know you mentioned a lot of things for your Snapchat story of things that were happening, just being teachers not letting you into Zoom meetings or whatever.
Oh yeah, one of my teachers straight up said to me, I don't do Zoom links because I find them distracting. And I'm like, oh.
And you're like, I find it distracting to not learn.
You're like, I'm ready. Yeah.
So I'm like, so what am I supposed to do? Am I excused? Are you gonna give me everything? And she's like, just stay on top of your work. She ended up emailing me. Did I email the dean though? Because I thought that what she said was illegal. Probably. Apparently it's not. Apparently, as long as professors are flexible with making sure you hand in your assignments, you're good. But if they don't want to send you a Zoom link, they don't have to. That's one thing that I learned. More you know.
I feel like that would be a thing that professors would have to do now on account of different regulations and things, but apparently not, I guess.
Yeah, apparently not. Which was something that I did not realize because I was very confused. I think I only had one class that had a working Zoom. And one of my professors actually couldn't get the Zoom link to work during class, so he actually him and I talked for an hour and a half about all of the stuff that I missed after classes, which was really interesting. So some things worked.
Yeah.
At least I was in a hotel room. The last time that I was quarantined, I was in an off-campus apartment, and it was constantly cold.
Oh.
And it was during my birthday.
Oh, that's too bad. It's not a nice way to spend your birthday.
Yeah, Ethan knows that well.
Yeah. I was also going to say, I'm just, the way that you were describing, only having, one class on Zoom, it just reminds me of, when this all started and no one was prepared for it. I felt like by now they would have been prepared. Oh, you guys weren't. Yeah. Neither of you were here when we went home.
Yeah, I was still in high school. You were in your junior year. I was in my senior year.
Yeah. But I've heard these stories, but feel free to restate them again. They were solid stories when you told them. What happened when.
It was because I've told you about this, but
yeah.
It was a very abrupt going home, but we only thought it was going to be for 2 weeks. So we didn't bring that much with us because we were sent home less than a week before our spring break started. So we were like, okay, we'll come back after spring break. Perfect, extended spring break. And that's all we brought home. And then I didn't get my things until I think either the very end of June or the very beginning of July. And we went home in March. So it was a long time without any of my belongings. But because of that, we weren't really equipped to be doing school. My textbooks were in my dorms for half my classes. So on my end, I didn't have a single teacher professor, teacher, whatever, who had used Zoom before because we were on ground. And every one of my professors just gave us a final assignment and no other assignments. They were just I guess get it done. It kind of just felt like the biggest shrug from the university, which is understandable. That's not a fault on their part. Nobody was prepared.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. I felt like they would have been prepared now because back then it made sense. We didn't know that was going to happen. We didn't expect to stay home from March to May. We expected to stay home 2 weeks and have an extended spring break. And we all thought it was just oh, okay, nothing's going to happen. We're safe. And then, we know what happened.
Yeah, kind of with my school, it was gave us that 2 week, hey, we're going back for 2 weeks, where all like high schools are like, yeah.
And then they add a week.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then they add a week.
add a week. And then they're like, well, finals are going to be canceled, and it's like that scene in like, I don't know which, I don't know which Harry Potter.
Got canceled?
We were going to have like exams.
My finals got canceled as well because of that.
Okay.
I mean, because we didn't come back, so like, we couldn't conduct they didn't have the methods to conduct a virtual final exam.
Yeah.
So it was like you said, I seen in Harry Potter, everyone's like, Dumbledore's like, exams are canceled, and everyone goes, no. Everyone goes, yay. Hermione's like, what am I studying for? But no, it was like, so like they canceled all that, and I'm like,
see, ours was more like in Order of the Phoenix, when the Weasleys come and just like throw all the papers, like, because people like I'm pretty sure that people that were in classes just got like immediately let out. They were like, just go home as fast as you can, and
Run,
like literally
retreat.
walking through like the Big Scary Quad, like any of the quads, everyone was yelling spring break, and like my friends were like running around playing Pokemon Go. Like it was just like, it was nothing to us.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh yeah, like whatever, no school for an extra week, like that's fun.
yeah, it just felt like they're gonna give us like 2 weeks of snow days, kind of what it felt like. It's like, oh, we're gonna take 2 weeks off to flatten the curve. That was the whole thing they said all the time. And then they're like, then add a week, and then like they're like, so we're using Google Meets now for things.
Yeah, I had Google Meets as well.
I remember doing theater Google Meets, because ironically the New Works Festival that I was talking about before was going on when we got sent home, which is why like that show that I wrote is from 2 years ago. It was going to be in the 2 years ago New Works Festival, and we got sent home, and we were all, while we still hoped we were coming back, actually, that was my first introduction to Zoom. Meg, Dr. Margaret Savalonis, she was like, hey guys, like there's this app you can get, not knowing that we'd be on it so much the next few years.
Yeah.
But yeah, we all got on there and read through some shows and like did a little rehearsals virtually. It didn't go well because the delay just was a nightmare. But yeah, we all thought like, oh, okay, one rehearsal online, no big deal.
Yeah. It was Tech Week for my like junior year drama club production,
right? Yeah.
Which a story I may have told before, but honestly, the show was Freaky Friday, so it was weird, and I kind of wasn't like comfortable doing. It was a weird show. It was just strange all around, and so when I'm not thinking like I didn't really like this show is gonna be strange, because like I did drama club for all 4 years of high school, but like only ever did like a show and a half kind of thing, because in my freshman year, the drama club was 5 people. And so we did like a show called What I Want to Say But Never Will. 5 people just going around reading these like monologues about being like, I want to tell my family I'm addicted to drugs, but I don't want to because I think it will ruin it was like these really weird and like very like the real actual monologues people had submitted to this playwright. It was really weird.
A lot different than Freaky Friday.
Exactly. And then we did Little Mermaid Junior. That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah. So I got to be Chef
I actually
Louis.
got casted in The Little Mermaid Junior, and then I realized that it wouldn't work like with my scheduling at the time. I think this was like back in like middle school. And then I got the role as the old guy who helps who's like Prince Eric's butler.
Yeah, I know that.
I got one of those roles, I think, and then I dropped the play because I like right away because it just wouldn't work with my schedule.
Okay, but you know who the best Little Mermaid character is?
Who?
Scuttle, hands down.
Scuttle
Scuttle
is
was
the
cool.
best.
Hi, Editor Jaysen here. I have all the context I need for the character that Scuttle is, but just for the sake of you podcast listeners, and the fact that as the official Drama Club video guy, which we have not gotten to yet, I realize that I referenced a future part of this podcast. Whoops! I will now insert a brief piece from one of Scuttle's songs, just to give you contextualize on what kind of character Scuttle is. Luckily, I still have the rehearsal tracks for the show. For some reason, I still have them in a folder, so here you go. Alright, enjoy this little piece of a song called Human Stuff.
Wonderful stuff. That human stuff can't get enough of human stuff. And we are the authority, no need for us to bluff, because we're great at explanating human stuff. With proper dingle, hopper, groom, and rest assured you'll look through human. We know 'cause we know human stuff.
Hi, post-song editor Jaysen note. I was not intending on making this, but I had so much fun listening to that song for the first time in like 3 or 4 years. The entire cast knew that song. Only like 3 of us were in it, but the entire cast knew that song. Also a song called She's in Love, but I still know Anyway, and now back to regular scheduled podcast.
Yeah.
Also, the chef. The chef's funny.
I was the chef.
Oh my god,
I got to sing the
that,
thing.
that works
very
well
fun.
for you.
Yeah, it was very cool. I
to
brought
go-
like a gavel out there, and I was like, it was fun. I had a lot of good time with it. There's this thing that someone's like little sister, she drew the fact that I had used a similar prop for one of my fishes that someone would wear in the next scene for Under the Sea, and they just thought they made like the little brain made the connection that was the same fish, and I'm like, that's not the case. But then that became my headcanon. I'm like, yes, that is the same fish from a future scene. I'm like, no.
I love behind the scenes headcanons in shows.
Yeah, but it was really cool. We had a good time with that one, and then we had Freaky. It's like so our drama club is growing. We got to Freaky Friday, and I'm like, this is just a weird show. It was like plagued with all sorts of people who people who were dropping out. We replaced people, and it was just like we were trying so hard. My friend was directing it, as a student director, and it was, and she was doing fantastic on it. But it was just a really weird show, and I'm like, this is gonna be odd, freaky, if you will. And then then we're like tech week of the show, and they're like, hey, listen, they're closed. We're kind of closing down here, and we're like, oh no, and I'm like, oh too bad we worked on this so hard, but at the same time I'm like, this was gonna be really I'm stressed about performing this show, and I'm like, it's gonna be strange. And then it just disappeared. I'm like, they're talking about maybe we'll go to like a different theater at somewhere else, and I'm like, so there's this whole thing, but we didn't end up doing Freaky Friday because we did a abridged version of Hadestown the next year. We picked we picked out songs we wanted to perform, and then had someone kind of walk out Hamilton style and be like, between this song and the next song, these plot points happen. Song, and we kind of just abridged
Exposition
characters. And then I recorded it with 3 different cameras from 3 different angles, and then just spliced them all together to make that one play. The school policy indicated that we could not sing in person on the stage together, so we recorded sound files, people singing, put them together in Soundtrap, laid them with the instrumentals and everything, and then just played that over the auditorium speakers, which sounded awful. Then I took the pure audio file and put it on top of it with audio syncing it, and then that was the show for that year. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's a lot of work.
I can't even
it was a lot of work,
imagine.
but it was what I did. I was the official drama club video guy. It's kind of what I did, but it was fun.
So I'm the year in the middle of you two, actually. So
How convenient.
I graduated COVID year. I graduated in 2020, and I luckily had my senior year drama show. Well, it was my musical. We did the drama. We do the dramas in the fall and the musicals in the spring. But I think that we finished our musical runs the week before COVID hit, and we did Beauty and the Beast. We had a big set.
Oh boy.
We had a big we rented it out, and it came in a gigantic U-Haul truck, and it was huge. Took up the entire stage. We climbed it. We had to paint. We had to do paint touch-ups on it. It was a lot of fun, and I was tech crew for that. So I was moving things all over, and it was a lot of fun actually. Made a lot of cool friends there.
Nice.
My stage manager actually is graduating. She's graduating high school this year, and she's going to Princeton. She's very smart. Love her. Yeah, I felt very lucky to be able to perform that, and then I also performed my freshman year, in tech crew. We did the Addams Family. I think that's a very underrated show.
That was my school is doing that at Attleboro.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing that COVID semester.
Uncommon's doing
there.
it right now.
Oh really? I didn't know that. But yeah, that was the
theater
show
company
that
from
never
back home.
happened. At Attleboro.
Contextual element. Despite the fact that we're here at school, Ethan and I are from approximately the same proximity, so we share some interesting common
neighboring
things.
towns.
Neighboring towns.
I'm a little far away from both of you.
Closer
but-
relative to
Yeah, well, Ethan and I have similar friends. We all kind of met in the same friend group, and then Jaysen and I are in marching band together, and we were in the same section, but you're ditching us.
Okay, well, so I'm going to audio, all right?
Yeah, which is really cool, because you're doing that now with this podcast, and pretty great.
Another interesting, I have to thank you for, Daniela, and I wanted to, this is interesting, the entire, my current social life, I owe entirely to you. It's I'm so you're hey, Ethan's here, really? That's so cool.
Well,
and then, I connected back with you.
Which was so funny to me too, because the whole reason that even happened on my end was because she was like, "Oh yeah, you know Jaysen." I was like, "Jaysen who?" And she said, "Jaysen Cole." And I just had this moment of how to
I think what happened was, First of all, I know 2 people who actually, besides you, our friend Aiden also knows
Yeah.
Jaysen, because you did scouts.
Yeah,
and
Aiden's dad was one of my assistant scoutmasters in my Boy Scout troop.
Yeah, because I remember when Aiden and I got closer too, we realized we had a bunch of my friends from high school like grew up with Aiden, and I was like, oh, okay. And then
Yeah, because I think like I was talking about like marching band, and then I mentioned you, and you were like,
it was because you were talking about your section, and then Kira was like, oh, well, Ethan knows Jaysen.
Yeah.
Like-
Kira was on a mission from Pastor Bixby to find me at band camp.
Yeah.
Because of Squano connections.
Small world,
Exactly.
honestly.
Yeah.
it's a very small world. Like I just meet like so many like mutual people from other people, and like some who live like even like far away from me, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a couple states apart.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
bit. Because
you guys are New Englanders.
Yes,
I am
we are.
not.
Massachusetts, Southern
yeah.
Massachusetts.
I'm from New Jersey. So I'm 2 hours in the opposite direction from you guys from this campus.
And we're 2 hours from here, so we're kind of like in the middle.
I'm only an hour and a half
Oh,
now.
sorry.
I moved.
That's valid.
30
But-
minutes is really going to be a time saver.
Oh yeah,
100%,
definitely.
100%.
Especially when it's all back roads.
Yeah.
From Dudley.
I do love New England though.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I mean like after like being here, like I like
Is it wrong if I
Connecticut.
ask why?
Well, I like Massachusetts. Like I've been to like in the greater Boston area before, and I do like that area. And
See, that's like my least favorite area of Mass.
I enjoy like some of like our like fall foliage things in the Cape is pretty
That's
cool.
true.
I-
Yeah,
yeah.
and my
Well-
mom lives at the start of the Cape, like before the bridge, so you don't get the traffic.
I've been to like the main, I guess, college areas of Massachusetts because I originally wanted to go to school in Mass. So
Oh, right. You've
I
been
was-
to Worcester, right?
yeah, I've been to Worcester and I've been
Yeah,
to
that's where I
Amherst.
lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my sister went to Amherst.
Yeah, Amherst is literally nothing but fields, and then all of a sudden, like big skyscrapers of UMass Amherst, and
Yeah.
then more fields.
I think when my friend and I did the math, the UMass campus is like 14 times larger than the New Haven campus.
Oh.
The UMass Amherst campus.
UMass Amherst, the population of undergraduates in UMass Amherst is larger than the population of my town.
Oh.
The population of my
That's
town
insane.
is
That's crazy.
18,000 people. UMass Amherst houses 31,000 students.
How do you even like? I don't know. I should know that it's that many based on the sheer amount of people from Attleboro High that go there.
Yeah.
I'm sure from Norton and North
Yeah,
too.
UMass Amherst is essentially a town if you really think about
Yeah,
it.
it is.
It's its own
Zoomis.
town.
Yeah.
Similar to like Penn State. Penn State is literally its own town.
Yeah.
I think it's like 90 something thousand people who go to Penn State and live there. It's absolutely nuts.
My town is 11,000.
Yeah, I have a slightly larger town than you.
Yeah, the other thing too is that you like more deeply connected me with Ella, who then connected me with the rest of
Well,
Ella's group, who
Ella-
is now our current podcast cast.
Yeah,
So
'cause
like
you and Ella started calling each other
Bestie.
bestie.
Oh, this is the Ella that I met.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, Ella's a sweetheart. I absolutely love her. Haven't seen her in a while, but I hope she's well.
even met Ella the other day. We were outside having lunch.
That's really cute.
Yeah.
Ella and I actually like communicate more on Snap because I just haven't seen her in a while. Like her and I are both like very busy people.
Ella's doing a show for the podcast called Ella Asks the World.
I have heard about that, and
Oh my gosh! So
I
Ella's
love that.
podcast girl.
Ella has been walking around with a microphone that I gave her. Like like those like news stations that have like that box with the news station logo on them.
Yes.
Oh
So I have one of those that has the podcast logo on it. And she's walking to people and be like, "Hey, I have a question. You want to be on a podcast?" They're like, "Okay, sure." And she's like, "What would you do to kill a Victorian child?" And they're like, And then
Give
so
it the Mountain Dew flaming hot
this is a
Cheeto.
special
Yeah.
message to Ella. Please find me. Please
Well,
find
Ella's
me.
the self-proclaimed podcast girl.
because she's been promoting it on YikYak, and that's where like
I'm not on.
Yeah.
I'm not on YikYak actually, but I know people who are, and like they just say some weird stuff.
I just downloaded it just to like keep just because Ella had uploaded a thing about the podcast and like I want to see like how it's gonna go, and so that's the only reason I got it. But yeah, people are out of pocket there. Not gonna
My
lie.
perception of YikYak is that it is a lawless land.
It pretty much is.
There are no rules.
Ella's done 2 episodes as of recording of this podcast today, and it was the Victorian child one, and then she walked around asking if people poop before they shower or shower before they poop, which is an interesting one.
That is I don't know that I think about it that much in depth.
I don't
I know.
think about it that much either.
This is an odd.
Flash
I will
forward to
answer
all the
that, though.
comments on
I
this
do
podcast.
poop before I shower.
Yeah, 'cause
I feel like
It
before
makes
now, if I
sense.
think about it, before makes more sense. But this brings
Yeah.
me to another important question: toilet paper over or under?
Toilet paper over.
Over.
trying to perceive.
Jaysen.
Trying to perceive what you just said in.
If the toilet paper's over, then
Is
it's
it
Oh,
like
yeah, so,
hooded
like,
over. If it's,
It's
under, then
towards
it's
you, or
like-
is it towards the wall?
Towards
Which-
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
The
so it's
only
over.
time that it's acceptable to do it the other way is if you have menaces of pets who
Mhm.
will try to unroll it. I'm like
Yeah.
gesturing as if this isn't
Yeah,
a
yeah,
podcast.
yeah.
But you guys can imagine when animals like just kind of fling things around and like pull it. I have seen animals just viciously unroll an entire tube of toilet paper.
Oh, yeah.
That is the only way that it's if you have
Well,
that
also,
problem.
You have 2
turn it-
cats.
Yeah, but they're fine. My cats are gems. I love them.
Oh, shout
I
out to
live
Ethan's cats.
vicariously through other people's pets because I don't
I could
have
do a
any.
whole podcast just about those cats. Actually,
Coming
no,
in
I
season
couldn't
4.
because I would want to show people pictures and then I'd get really upset that I couldn't.
Yeah, Ethan sends me like cat content. Actually, you send me cat
I
content.
send you a
whenever
lot
you're
of
home.
cat content.
Hashtag
It's
cat
really bad.
content.
I'll send you some cat content.
I'd like some
Jason.
cat content, please. Yeah, that'd be
Or
really
if
cool.
you ever find yourself in Dudley, because anyone finds themselves in Dudley.
Then I'll get some in-person
It's like
cat
Denny's. You don't go there; you end up there.
content. Yeah, that's a great way to describe it.
I'm heading over to Aiden's to go see AJR.
When?
Actually, like in the middle of May.
In the middle of May. Oh, okay. Well, if you want to come by, Aiden's only like 45 minutes from my house.
That's very fair.
Not to make plans
I
on
don't
your
have-
podcast.
No, it's okay. This is
I'm
good.
still working on it, like on the car thing.
Just like out your
For
exact
context-
location.
For
next week.
context, I totaled my car like 3 days before moving in for the spring semester.
Ooh. For band camp? You told it before band camp?
For spring semester.
Oh, for spring semester. Yep,
Yeah.
that was just an absolute. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think you've seen pictures of my car. It's
I may have.
absolutely it's gnarly.
Oh boy.
Like you can't like it looked like smushed.
Oh.
And I used to have like a Toyota Corolla. It was bad, but it's okay. We're trying to get a new car at some point.
Nice.
In a week and a half, I'll be a senior.
You know what? I'll
And
be
I-
a senior too.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be a senior too.
Yeah.
Ahead of the
Technically,
game.
technically, I should be graduating like in 2024, but I worked my ass off to graduate a year early, so I'm doing
I
that.
honestly don't know how you did it. Like I've watched it happen.
Summer and winter.
but-
Yeah, you were there for most of it.
I
You
just still don't understand.
I do summer and winter courses. That's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's pretty much the bulk of it because I think I only brought in 12 credits. I didn't even bring out enough credits for like a whole semester. I just brought in like,
Yeah, I didn't either.
I brought in 1 AP test. I think 2 or 3 other tests that were from like community colleges or like dual enrollment stuff.
Yeah.
And then other than that, like, I've just been doing.
Someone's walking upstairs in the building. Sorry, I'm like
It's
looking.
so loud.
Yeah, that was really.
Anyway, next time on Ghosts and Haunted
Oh my
Activities,
gosh.
the
Oh
door
my
just
God,
closed.
Paranormal activity in
And-
the dive.
Let me think here. Let's see. I would say at least 25% of all podcast episodes are paranormal related. That's how haunted this campus is.
For the context of podcast listeners, as we were all staring at the ceiling because there were loud footsteps, the door just moved like as if someone pulled on it. But I can see out the window of the door there was nobody there.
There is nobody.
So that was just really strange.
We have an episode planned for next season where we're
It's
gonna hang out
dogs,
with.
it's
Yeah, we're gonna
You should do like.
we're gonna go ghost hunting, or we're gonna hang out with Pyro.
Go in the
Do you
basement
know-
of Maxie.
Yeah. Basement of Maxie at like in the middle of the night.
Yeah, that is the plan.
Having run haunted houses in Maxie, there were times when I thought because my friend had a role where he would just run at people and I
Oh.
could hear him run. So I heard the running noises and I'm like, okay, whatever, Ben's doing his thing. And I turned around and Ben was behind me. And
Ooh.
it terrified me.
See
You
what-
should get a bunch of like really obviously fake ghost hunting apps and just make a day out of it.
That's yeah. I mean, we're gonna make an episode out of it. It's gonna be like right next to Halloween. At this rate, all the haunted stuff is happening. It might become 2 episodes, but we'll see. We'll see how things kind of fall into place.
Really cool.
I can only really plan so many episodes in advance before things like are inevitably going to change.
Yeah.
So that's what I've kind of learned. But I have put.
That's how I was gonna say. I'm like, oh, I'm so ready to like shamelessly plug theater club right now, and then I'm like, those plans might change. So
This episode comes out in probably like a week or 2. Based on how things are going. This is welcome to season 3, by the way. This is the season premiere.
I love when the cold open is the whole podcast.
And now roll intro song. No, I just forgot to because we recorded season 2 this semester. We finished that like the beginning of this month, and so now we're recording as many episodes of season 3 as possible before we go off for the summer, because this is the 3rd episode we've recorded, but it's the first episode that's going to come out.
I actually was watching, like, when I was in isolation, I was actually watching, for the concert that I saw, I was watching one of the 2 of the frontmen do, like, podcast interviews, like, over Zoom or something like that, which is really interesting because it worked out well. And
I don't know what their plan is, but Ella might be going to, like there's, like, lines for, like, Blackbear or whoever the other person who's performing this weekend is, and just being like,
I will be at the Blackbear concert,
okay.
actually.
So I don't know if Ella's gonna ask the world at some of these events when people are gathered. I'm like, if it's already a naturally gathered crowd, just start polling people. Like this,
That's smart.
Editor Jaysen note that episode is not coming. They just didn't do it. They wanted to enjoy the concert. So cool thought, past Jaysen, but that's not to be. Maybe some other time.
Yeah.
Fun fact, actually, I found out that Blackbear had, because I don't know, but Blackbear had COVID.
Yeah.
And the thing is that he got diagnosed with COVID, I think, a day or 2 after I did. I find out through Twitter, which is interesting because he just posted a tweet that said, "Damn, I have COVID," and then everyone's like, "Oh, I hope you're doing okay. Like, I'm so sorry that you have to go into isolation. Feel better." And I'm like, this man's coming to my campus next Friday.
But then, like,
what do you mean he has COVID?
And then Scope posts are like, we're not gonna cancel it until Blackbear people say we should. Then we're like, okay.
I hope the Blackbear people are being honest about it.
Yeah,
That's all
because
I'm gonna
technically,
say.
the isolation period technically now is like 6 days, and then you go on another 5 days wearing a mask, which is why I'm currently masked while we're recording this. But like, technically Blackbear would be out of isolation by, like, I don't know, he would have probably been out of isolation by, like, yesterday, maybe 2 days ago. And then, like, he would, like, probably have to stay masked. He's probably not going to stay masked when he sings because, like, performers don't really do that. But like, technically the isolation period would be over for him, hence why I think that's why they're continuing on with it. I am going to be there. I'm going to stay masked because big crowd.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
One of my friends is one of my friends actually, because I don't know if people know, but like a student, like, performer or student band gets to open for Blackbear, and my friend got selected.
Ooh,
Jaysen.
Yay!
Oh, okay.
Jason's like a 2 or 3 timer of the podcast.
Yeah.
Jason's been here before.
Yeah. I didn't realize that Jason's been here before. That's sick.
Jason was on for an episode about accents. We talked about Long Island stuff, and Jason was back.
Did you say the word bubbler at all?
We did. I think we did. I had a whole PowerPoint slideshow of like words like data and other things like that. So it's like, the data debate, or like other.
My favorite thing is to write out a list of towns in Massachusetts and ask people not from Massachusetts to pronounce them.
Worcester.
Worcester.
I think all my friends have to know Worcester just because I lived there. But
I
Gloucester
know
and
Worcester
Leicester.
because I know Worcester because I visited Clark. That's one of the schools that I want to go to for my graduate school.
Yeah.
I have some stories about Clark as someone who lived in that area. Don't go off the campus. It's not safe.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm guaranteed housing at Clark.
Then come stay at my house. What? You get free cats.
That's very true. Mom is probably asking me where I am. I'm doing a podcast, Mom.
Jason's gonna be back again because Jason's roommate wants to come on for episode 2, so I'm really excited about that because I was just on a podcast at WNHU, and I plugged this podcast on that podcast.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because he said I could. I'm like, okay, cool. That's coming out tomorrow.
We recorded this episode here with Ethan and Daniela on the 27th of April. That episode of Behind the Bulletin was supposed to come out on April 28th. It is currently the 5th of May. The episode has not come out yet. So here's a little snippet of it, just to prove my point.
And being able to grow something kind of slowly. Like I know I'm working on some projects even here on my own. I have my own podcast thing that I've been working on.
Plug it. What's it about?
It's it's called Couple Friends at No Class. We record.
Oh, that's you guys?
Yeah, that's us.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And we, so lots of cool things. Like for example, we're taking advantage of the opportunity. Tonight's food truck is Silver Sands Pizza, and we saw that a lot of people just kind of stand there and just twiddle their thumbs while they wait for their pizza to happen.
Yeah,
Because they're just standing there waiting. So we're gonna see if we can
That's
talk
right.
to them. We got some stickers to hand out.
Editor Jaysen Interruption, Season 3, Episode 3. Stay tuned.
It's gonna be pretty cool. So it kind of is like that. Kind of take something that like I envisioned in my head. Kind of was slowly getting like things like microphones. This is I don't have this room here. This thing's pretty cool
Yeah,
though.
you got to set up.
Yeah, but I gotta set up and kind of seeing how that's gonna happen and just kind of like seeing what works for the for the campus community and just making fun content with my friends and now members of our community as at large is a pretty cool thing to do.
That is absolutely great.
And now back to the regular scheduled podcast. Jaysen and introing Blackbear.
Yeah, he got an email about it. I think literally at the beginning of the week,
Yeah.
which he has a week to prepare for it. But he's performing at Fauxchella, which is pretty dope. That's what I just came back from. I unfortunately missed Jaysen's set to be here, but my friends performed. They're in a band called Garden State. My big actually is the drummer, and then my friend is the bassist. But yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty cool. I saw them. There was my friend Jules is in Total Corner, with my friend Logan and I think Jules' boyfriend, and then I still can't stop thinking about Slapnuts. That was just weird. They actually threw stickers at us. I have a sticker from Slapnuts.
I'll hand you ours gingerly, if that's okay.
Oh, bet. Cool.
See, I'm not gonna toss them to you. I'll
thank you so
place them over
much.
nicely.
Yay.
Such a kind hand.
I
Thank
like
you.
the little like corner. Like,
Thank you.
It's like,
Everyone gets a guest sticker.
yeah. I love it.
I know, because it's super cool.
Stickers are
My friend
fun.
actually,
Yeah.
fun fact, my friend at the light that's like right by the 7-Eleven, my friend saw like the QR code and was like, oh, I want to scan that. I wonder what it is. And I'm like, that's my friend's podcast.
Yeah, that's us. There's
And he
more
was
of them.
like, oh, no
Are
way.
they currently in my pocket? I have 4 more. It was a roll of 50. I've just been being like, hey, want to hand some of these out? Cool. And I have 4 of them. And I'm trying to find places to.
Is there
Yeah.
one on the cell elevator? You live in cell.
There's not, but there were various like flyers up, as there tend to be for like events and everything. And I don't know who started, like people started moving them around so that like instead of being taped to the wall, one was taped like to the floor and one was flipped upside down. Then someone taped one to the ceiling, and then someone lifted one of like the ceiling tiles of the elevator and put it on the other side of it so that you could see it like vaguely through the ceiling.
Interesting.
And then they all disappeared the other day.
Yeah, but I put one on a fire hydrant and it snowed like 3 times and it hasn't like faded at all. And I'm like, this is a
Wow.
high quality sticker. At least, yeah, well, that's good. Someone looked like they wanted to scan it.
He was just like, oh, I want to scan that. And I was like, I can tell you exactly what that is.
Was this Aiden?
No.
Okay.
It was my other MC. I'm in the band frat. So it was the other membership candidate. I became an official brother on Monday. So
Congratulations.
I
Very
am
cool.
a frat boy. Because,
You say sitting next to the theater club guy. Oh, I'm president now.
incredible. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You went from secretary to president. Hell yeah.
I spent 3 years in the same position because I was like, I'm comfortable doing this. And then I was like, I should probably do something else my senior year.
Y'all better manifest that I get clarinet section leader. 'Cause
Absolutely. Manifest.
We're losing Jacob and Shelby.
Editor Jaysen note, Daniela is now the clarinet section leader. She won the election, so congratulations to Daniela.
I'm going to be marching band audio person. So I'm not, and then I'm also going over and doing something with WNHU next year too, taking someone who's graduating, taking his job and being over there too. So that's
so
gonna be pretty cool.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'm also gonna be an RA. That too.
Yay! I did not know you
In
were an
Bethel
RA.
Hall.
In Bethel Hall for the Esports ELC. But no, yeah, I'm all the way down on the bottom, so I get to look at the grass. I don't get like a nice high up top, but I'm like all the way on the ground, on the bottom floor. So that's gonna be interesting.
Esports ELC is?
Are
Apparently,
you like AS or AN?
AS.
Nice. I was
So.
ES when I was a freshman.
Cool.
So I
And
lived
then
in
COVID.
Bixler. Yeah, Ella lives in Bixler right now.
Yes.
Yeah. I know where Ella's room is because she has the Chris Root flag up. So I know I was there when she got that flag. So like I always know where Ella's room is.
Nice. I have a flag with the podcast logo on it. I got it a long time ago.
Yeah,
That's
I think
fun.
I
Yeah.
think you showed me a picture of it.
I think
at
I
one
did.
point.
I brought it outside one time when we recorded. We recorded an episode outside at the Soap Stand food truck, like by putting the soundboards like on a cardboard box and like sitting on a trunk. That is the third episode in the series from you listener perspective. I had it. I didn't end up putting it up. We chatted just like generally us, and then like one person walked up and gave us a fun fact.
Stay tuned for episode 3 to hear more about that. I told Ethan and Daniela the entire podcast story. I totally spoiled it. But I'm going to avoid doing that with you guys, so you have to wait 2 weeks to see it. Sorry, but I guess you're going to have to go and check it out.
So did I just ask you to spoil your own podcast?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
I was trying to think of a fun fact. Oh, the voice actor and actress for Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse are married in real life.
Oh,
and
that's
it brings
cool.
me joy.
Aw.
They're adorable.
That's a similar thing. I don't know if any of you guys are anime fans, but the mangaka for Hunter x Hunter and the mangaka for Sailor Moon are married to each other.
Oh, cool. I recognize those names. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was like, I know the names.
Hunter x Hunter was like
Oh, you've told me about that one.
that was the one that got me back into anime.
Yes.
And then Sailor Moon is very, very popular. I haven't seen Sailor Moon yet, but 1990s classic like anime.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm just glad that we're all in this room together. I don't think I've hung out with like the three of you guys
I know, I don't
yet.
Exactly.
think we've all been
because
together.
like we all found out that we knew each other somehow, but we've never been in the same room together. So this is like a lot of fun for
I
me.
know it is. I'm glad you. I'm sorry you had to miss some Fauxchella to come here, but
No, it's completely
Yeah.
okay. I'm glad that I'm able to talk to you guys all together. It's really funny though, and we were talking about this before we started, but finding out that you guys knew each other, but trying to figure out how to address you was really funny.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't know how to do it, so you're fine.
yeah. But yeah.
I
that's-
also
yeah.
love that we were like, yeah, we'll talk about theater, and ended up at
I mentioned to Ethan because we had lunch today that I'm like this. I imagine this currently is a fun little thing I'm doing. I get to use this is all stuff that I own. I don't have any other way to use it other than this, which is super cool. So it's fun for you to do it now. It gets a little get talking to people. Me also meet new people. Talk to people more. But then I feel like when I graduate, I look back on it. I'll listen to the podcast and be like, wow. Oh cool, this character just got introduced. I like this character. Oh no, but this character's gonna have to go. It's gonna be like essentially it's like a little time capsule from college. It's like a little when you guys graduate, then I won't be able to I won't see you as much, but then I'll be able to be
record a lot of things that happened in my college.
I know, I was like, that's my snap memories.
Snap memories is essentially my capsule because I see the good, the bad, and the ugly, and every throughout all of college, but at the end, I'm gonna look back at all those things and be like, wow, all this happened in the span of I'm completing college in 3 years. So all this happened in 3 years. That's crazy.
kind of has become a multi-purpose thing, which is really cool and fun.
Ice cream after the podcast.
I'm down.
Yeah, that
I
sounds
can do
cool.
ice cream after the podcast. That would be fun.
That would be super fun. Maybe we should go do that right now. And when I listen back to the podcast, if my burning statement is still burning, I'll add it in as a voiceover afterward.
Nope, I have no idea what I was going to talk about.
What a seamless transition to the closing, Daniela.
Yeah,
So
I mean
nice.
ice cream.
Ice
job,
cream,
Danny.
ice cream after the podcast? Let's do it. All right. Thank you both for coming. I appreciate you coming out. I enjoyed this fun little story thing. Yeah, the episode comes to a close. We can actually make it over to ice cream before it melts away. See you guys all next week on Couple Has No Class. For episode 2 is another Urban Legends one. Urban Legends next week. See you guys then. Bye.
Bye.
Despite our best efforts and quick packing, the ice cream truck had run out of ice cream and was not there when we got outside. So I went to the C-store instead and got some Ben & Jerry's ice cream. So, happy ending to the story, but I wanted to add that in as a funny little note here at the end.